Hi guys, this is Miss Dyer. I know I'm not in class with you guys right now because I've just had a baby and I'm out on maternity leave, but I will be doing your at-home assignments. So tonight we're going to kind of take care of two things in our at-home assignment. We're going to talk about how we're going to take notes on at-home assignments, and we're going to learn about lab safety so that when you are in the science lab and we're doing labs, you know the safety rules. So we are going to start out by, you're going to need a sheet of notebook paper. So you should have a journal, not a journal, you should have a binder that has a science tab, and behind that science tab you should have some blank notebook paper. If you just go to that first page, we're going to set this up how we're going to take notes this year. So at the top of the page is going to be your title. So up at the top, you're going to write Lab Safety, because that's what we're about to talk about. Okay. Once you write lab safety, you're going to go here. If this is your margin, if you can see my little pen, if this is your margin, you're going to go over just a little bit from your margin, about an inch or so, and then you're going to make a line, and you want to make yours as straight as possible. Mine's hard to make a straight line on this. This part of the notes on the left hand side is basically the title or the main topic that you're talking about in that part of the notes. So we're going to discuss rules in the lab. So you're going to write rules here. And then this part is where you will actually write the rules. So I'm going to start you off, and you can do this with numbers or bullet points, but I'll start you off with the first one. So I'm going to do a bullet point. And you're going to watch a lab safety video, and in the video you're going to see that they're going to give you some rules for the lab. I want you to write as many of those rules as you can down as you're watching the video. If you have to pause the video, then pause it. So if you hear them say, for instance, I believe the first rule is to wear goggles. So instead of letting the video play while you write wear goggles, pause it. Okay, so during this time you should have the video going, and you should have your notes in front of you, and you should be writing down as many rules as you can during the video.
So, you want to work in the science lab? Oh, it's so wild and exciting in here! But remember, you must follow every teensy-weensy safety rule. A-boom, boom, shaka-laka-laka-boom, hit it!
When you're working in the lab, that is so cool. Hey, there's a lot to remember, so don't be a fool. Listen up. Never tinker in the lab without a teacher or adult. Never take chances for the very best results. There are chemicals and substances that could get in your eyes.
Okay, so just so we can have some practice, they gave two rules during that first part. The first one was to not tinker in the lab when there's no teacher around, which means basically if you come into the classroom and you see equipment laying out, don't touch it until the teacher gives you permission. That way you'll know exactly what to do with it. And the second one was to wear goggles. So you should have those two things written in your notes. If you need to pause the video to write those two things, to basically not touch equipment until the teacher tells you to, and to wear goggles during lab activities, then pause the video and do that now. If you've already got those two, then you can move on and continue with the video.
Morals of that story, always wear safety goggles. And if I do say so myself, they're quite attractive.
Running and playing in the lab is something you should not do. And don't drink or eat anything when you don't have a clue.
Without a doubt, it will look very interesting, but it could be very dangerous. Please be careful.
Notify your teacher if there's an accident or spill, and never smell a chemical directly. You'll be sorry. Oh yeah, you'll be sorry. Oh yes, you will.
The moral of the story, listen to your teacher and what to live.
Push up long sleeves, tie back long hair, and don't wear open-toed shoes. That's nice. Never mix chemicals unless you're told exactly what to do. And broken or chipped glassware should never be used. Read all the instructions before you start experimenting. Wash your hands as soon as you're finished. Listen to your teacher, keep the work area clean, and the science lab will be the most amazing place, oh, that's right, you've ever seen.
Science is so much fun! But you must be careful. I will have my eyes on you. So, always follow the rules, or you'll be sorry. No! Go have some scientific fun! Woohoo! I like science, and science likes me. Together you would say we have a bit of chemistry. Until next time! La 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 la!
Okay, so I went ahead for time reasons and put down the rules that you should have gotten. So if you see on your screen, mine are typed in there just to save time because it takes so long. But we talked about to not tinker with the lab materials before the teacher instructions. Basically just means when you come in to the lab, don't go in and start messing with any equipment. To wear goggles when the teacher tells you. No running or horseplay. No eating or drinking. Don't sniff chemicals directly. And you may not have been able to tell from the video, but what that basically means is if there's something that asks you to smell something because it releases an odor, you're not going to hold it up and sniff it like that because it could burn your nostrils. So you will just hold the container. Say if this is your container, you would just hold the container over and then do like this so you can get the smell. If you have long sleeves, you'll push them up. If you have long hair, you'll tie it back. No open-toed shoes, so I'll always let you know if there's going to be a lab where you shouldn't be wearing open-toed shoes. Don't mix chemicals, and then read all the instructions before the lab. Anytime we have a major lab like that, one of your at-home assignments will be that you will actually read the instructions for the lab at home, and then wash hands when done. I realized during the video that I forgot one on here, so I wonder if anybody could catch me and tell me what it is. I'll give you a minute to think. The one I actually forgot was to notify the teacher if there's a spill. Oh. So, make sure you add that one. Notify teacher is a spill. And actually, you notify the teacher any time. If something breaks, if something spills, it's usually not a huge deal, but you just need to let me know. Okay, the last thing that you're going to do with these notes, once you have these down, and you can pause the video anytime. I know that that's a lot, and you probably need to go back through, so just pause it and copy your notes. When you come into class tomorrow, your notes should look a lot like mine, but be written, not typed. The last thing you're going to do, there's 2 steps left in your notes. Basically where I wrote this, where I wrote the notify teacher, you should have, your page should continue. So right below that, you're going to draw a line. And below that line, you're basically going to write me a summary of what you learned. So you can just write, well, tonight we'll do 1 sentence. 1 sentence about what you learned about lab safety. And you would write that right here at the bottom of your page. Now, at the bottom of your page, if you still have a lot of page left, that's okay. This is actually a shorter page than you probably have. And then over here, you're going to give me a question that you have. So are there any questions that you still have about lab safety, or about how labs work, or anything like that? So you're going to write a question here. So for example, I may say, and you can't use my example, but I may say, do we have to wear goggles for every lab? Okay, and now I would write that right there for your question, and then your summary goes here. And that's just 1 sentence telling me basically what you learned about lab safety. Okay, and then you're going to bring this into class tomorrow, and Ms. Kaiser is going to check it and help and answer any of your questions you have here. There is going to be a lab safety quiz, and you should have a lab safety contract that you and your parents will both sign, just saying that you understand those rules of the lab and that you have taken the quiz.